All right, so we're going to look at morphing shape paths. So I've got a new composition here, and let's start with just a pen tool because this is a really kind of convenient one. So if I just draw out a shape, I've got all these nice little Bezier handles to pull around and animate. So if I go under my shape layer, contents, shape, you'll see I've got my path. Open that up, and I can set a keyframe, and I want to come back to this position at the end, so I'll set a second keyframe for that. And then let's go here to the middle, and I can start modifying the shape. Pretty simply, let's do this, there. So now whenever I can kind of morph that shape. Obviously, the more poses you put in, the better. So we'll just kind of move these around again. And I'll kind of turn this one. So something interesting happened up here, you probably noticed. Whenever I grab this one, the Bezier handles are broken. If this happens and you want to keep them smooth, tap the Option key and that'll snap them back into line. But if they're in line, but you want to break them, again, grab a handle, hit the Option key, and now I can change the direction of that path. Let's do that, and then, but what matters is the order you do this in. You gotta grab the handle first and then hit the Option key. If you hit the Option key first and then click the handle, it doesn't give the same effect. So let's do that. Come over here, grab this guy, pull him way down here, pull this guy up here, over here, so on and so forth. But you get the idea. There we go. And when we play that through, we can kind of animate those. And I was kind of random about that. I didn't try to do anything super meaningful with it, but you get the idea. It's laying down points, and then you simply keyframe that path and move them around. So I'm just going to turn this off. So what if I have a circle that I want to modify into something else? Because remember, a circle is sort of a parametric object. It's got points and curves, but they're not Bezier points. So I've drawn a circle out here. Let's right click real quick, and let's center the anchor point to the content, and then I'm just going to center this object up. See, it's got points and curves, but they're not, I can't really select them individually. If I grab them, they kind of stretch the whole thing, which might be what you want. That might be fine. You can adjust the scale. But if you want to actually convert these to Bezier points, you can do that. So if we come down here to our shape layer, open up the ellipse path, and right click on it, we can convert to Bezier. It's the shape to Bezier. And now, if I do this, I should be able to get in here, and let's actually kill the fill. There we go. Did I not convert that? I did. Let's grab the path. There we go. I got to select the path. My bad. Kind of forgot. So you know, we can animate that shape then too. So we'll start him at this path. And we'll go out here to 2 seconds. Right here in the middle, let's do there we go. Grab that. Let's just pull these all out. Again, not being very meaningful with the things I do, but we'll see what we get. So we can morph those shapes. We can select all those keyframes, easy ease those. Let's pull this in and this in just so we can watch this animation. It's a little better movement, but I can also go under, I'm actually going to go under my speed graph, and remember we can open our graph editor here, click on that, and this is a speed graph, and remember that there are 2 graphs we can work with. There's a value graph, which looks like the, let's stop that, a value graph, and a speed graph. Take my speed graph and do this. Changes how that animates. So we can animate morphed shapes that way. Maybe I'll turn back on my fill. So I converted that parametric object to a path that I could edit. And real quick, I'll just toss in, let's do a new composition. And I'm going to import a file. Let's go here. Logos, and let's grab a logo. I think this will work. All right. And that's just a shape object. If I open that comp and I access that layer, I can come down here to create, and I can create shapes from this vector layer. And whenever I do that, it will duplicate and turn off the original layer, but give me a new layer made up of outlines. And if I open that up, there are 2 sets of paths. That I can work with. And going back to my trim paths example, if I select both of those, I can create outlines out of those, and I can animate those with trim paths. So if you're not sure the trim paths are, look at the other video. But that's morphing paths and change, and then a quick change a vector object into paths for use.